I know a girl. I know a girl used to be cool with me, or used to be closer to me. Let's say it like that, because we still cool. We just haven't talked in a long time. But I heard somebody tell me that she got a cat. She a cat lady now because she refused to take accountability for every single thing that she got going on in her life. She's trying to get everybody else to acknowledge how she feels. And instead of taking accountability for what her life has become, instead she decided to buy a cat. True story. Read out my line. And you know what the funniest part about it is? The whole story? She didn't even want nobody to know she had a cat. She didn't even want nobody to know she had a cat. That's how you know that they hide from accountability. But see, what I'm trying to convince my guys of is that stop trying to change women into being something that they're not. That's your biggest problem. We can acknowledge it. We can hold people accountable. More importantly, one of the reasons why we do these things, or why we do review videos, is to show you what it is that you want to avoid, or to use some of these people as examples of what to do or what not to do. Listen, for some reason, you think that we trying to change them. That's what they got a coaching call for. You got to pay for that. And the reason why we charge for coaching calls is because we know that when you put your money up, you actually serious about what it is that you're talking about. See, if we gave it to you for free, we give you too much free information and you still don't leverage that. You wouldn't even appreciate it because you didn't have to go through anything in order to get it. But see, once somebody say, I want to put my money up, you know that they actually serious about changing. And they serious about accountability or whatever it is that they're trying to get coaching for. Because people will pay an egregious amount of money for stuff that they don't even need. Well, Anton, how can you say that? You see how many people was asking for student loan forgiveness? People was willing to pay 60, 70, 90, 120, 150. It's people with $200,000 in debt for something that they thought that they wanted, that they didn't even take serious, and knew going in that they wouldn't make no money as a result of it. But now they interdependent on somebody else in order to forgive them. That's largely a woman thing. Why? How do you know this, Anton? Because the data and the statistics tell us so. I don't even have to use anecdotal experience on that. It's women every single day that say that they beating men, but they're not telling you about their student loan forgiveness. They're not telling you about what it is that they accumulated, but society simped out for them. Society, Biden, even Biden himself, simped out for black women and women across the board in order to be able to get elected president. And that's the nature of our society. Our president simped out for women in order to continue to stay inside of the White House. And he ain't even got all of his faculties. So they bought something or they overpaid for something, and then they looked for somebody to save them and bail them out, and then they ran in the Victim Olympics and they still blaming men talking about we beating y'all. You got a handout. You got reparations. You got $250,000 forgiven off your student loans. That's reparations. Or simping, either way. Or simping, either way. So they not the most educated, they the most enrolled. It's a difference. They also the most in debt. And so you know accountability is their kryptonite. And when I see guys operating like women, I know that they just like their mama. And so when we start to have these conversations, we got to start holding ourselves accountable to the extent of it's not important for you to get with her. It's important for you to avoid her in order to make sure that you align yourself with the person that's going in the direction that you're going in. But we don't want to do that because A, we don't have no dick discipline. B, we was raised by our mamas. Not all of us, but I'm going to just use all of us as a general statement in order to qualify what I'm talking about. B, raised by our mamas. C, dependent on our emotions in order to make decisions. That's why we crashing out every day. And then D, you keep trying to save these hoes because the only thing you care about is the aesthetics instead of the core of who it is that they are. You're not trying to get with somebody that's equally yoked. You're trying to get with somebody that can equally suck. All we care about is a fat ass and getting some head. Is the demise of a black man. Ass and head is the demise of our black men. See, Umar Johnson is going to tell you it's a white woman. It's not. I see more men in family court from black women, black men specifically, than white women ever have. I see more men going to jail, getting pinned, charges that they ain't never been. And see, listen, white women ain't absolved from it because they doing it to their men too. They doing it to their men too. And so I had said something a while ago, a couple years ago, that people was feeling some type of way about. And I said, black women to black men have always been worse off or worse for us, especially today, than white men ever have. And they got upset about that. But it didn't make it any less true. It didn't make it any less true. And obviously this isn't applying to everybody. So don't feel some type of way. Get out your motherfucking feelings. If you don't like what it is that I'm saying, it's probably because you know somebody that's actually in this situation. How many of y'all in this chat right now? How many of y'all, it's over 1,000 people watching this across multiple different platforms. How many people that's in this chat right now know a woman that took advantage of a man and never took accountability for what it is that they did? Or may have held his kids for ransom against them, or went overcharged for child support, or was cheating on the dude even though he was paying for everything, or they mamas was for the streets and they never really brought themselves to the front of the congregation, or they was more submissive to their pastor and their church and their boss than they was to the man that they was being raised in the household, or was being abusive physically, financially towards the man that was going and killing himself every single day, and then he died. And then she moved on to somebody completely different, and she was happy as a result of it. Men have been taken advantage of for the longest. And we finally got the microphone, and we finally standing up on behalf of men. And then the women want to come back and say, well, oh, I don't like that. Well, so what? Fuck your feelings, deal with it. It's your turn. It's your turn. I don't care if you like it, it don't make it any less true. It don't make it any less true. And see, what y'all got to realize as men is that we don't have to have them all. We just got to have the ones that's right for us. And so my final message to you guys is leave them behind. If they not on your program, if they not doing what it is that you want them to do, if they not going in the direction that you're going in because you have to vet for where you going, not where you at, leave them behind.